All right, Madam Chair, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening. The City of Boston Zoning Board of Appeals Subcommittee for, July 21st, 2022 is now in session. This hearing is being conducted in accordance with the applicable provisions of the open meeting law, including the updated provisions enacted by the legislature. The new law allows the board to continue its practice of holding virtual hearings until March 31st, 2023. This hearing of the board is being held remotely via the Zoom webinar event platform. This hearing is also being recorded. In order to ensure this hearing of the board is open to the public, members of the public may access this hearing through telephone and video conferencing. The information for connecting to this hearing is listed on today's hearing agenda, which is posted on the public notices page of the city's website, boston.gov. Members of the public will enter the virtual hearing as attendees, which means you will not see yourself on the screen and you will be muted throughout, unless administratively unmuted when asked to comment. Board members, applicants, and their attorneys or representatives will participate in the hearing as panelists, and they will appear alongside the presentation material when speaking. Panelists are strongly encouraged to keep video on while presenting to the board. As with our in-person meetings, comments in support will be followed by comments in opposition. The order of comments is as follows: elected officials, representatives of elected officials, and members of the public. The chair may limit the number of people called upon to offer comment and the time for commenting as time constraints require. For that reason, the board prefers to hear from members of the public who are most impacted by a project. That is, those individuals who live closest to the project. If you wish to comment on an appeal, please click the raise hand button along the bottom of your screen in the Zoom webinar platform. Click it again and your hand should go down. When the host sees your hand, you will receive a request to unmute yourself. Select yes, and you should be able to talk. If you are connected to the hearing by telephone, please press *9 to raise and lower your hand. You must press *6 to unmute yourself after you receive the request from the host. Again, if you are connected by telephone, please press *9 to raise and lower your hand and *6 to unmute yourself. Those called upon to comment will be asked to state their name and address first, and then can provide the comment. In the interest of time and to ensure that you have enough time to do so, please raise your hand as soon as Mr. Fortune reads the address into the record. Do not raise your hand before the relevant address is called, or the meeting host will not know to call on you at the appropriate time. Let me just take a quick roll call. Mr. Fortune?
Good evening, Madam Chair. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Mr. Ehrlich.
Yep, I'm here.
Excellent. So it's, go ahead, Mr. Fortune.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First order is any deferrals or withdrawals for any of the 5 o'clock cases. If you can give me the address first, please.
Hi, Taryn Bone. Oh, sorry, 330 K Street.
Thank you. For the record, calling BOA 134-3120, 330 K Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Taryn Bone, 330 K Street.
And what's the reason for your request?
We are still working with the neighborhood and neighbors based on feedback at the abutters meeting for garnishing continued support.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion for deferral. Sorry, Mr. Ehrlich.
Second.
Are you meeting with the community this month? or do you already meet with them? Because we could do either an August date or a September date.
Yeah, we would like to do the August 18th date, I believe it is. We
Okay.
already met with them and we're just meeting with
Okay,
neighbors.
we'll do August 18th at 5
Mr.
p.m.
Fortune, may I have your official vote? Sorry, we have to go through this.
Yes, aye.
Mr. Ehrlich,
Aye.
Araujo, aye.
Are there any other? Sorry,
And the
Madam
date
Chair.
is 8/18 at same
p.m.
at 5 o'clock.
Correct. Are there any other deferrals or withdrawals for the 5 o'clock cases? Hearing none, I'll call the first case. Calling DOA 128-6603, 99 Cottage Street. This is to replace an existing roof deck. The violation is Article 27T-5. This is in the East Boston iPod. And Article 53, Section 52, roof structure restrictions. Name and address for the record, please.
Ariana Ween, 99 Cottage Street, and John Smart is with me as well.
So please explain why this triggered. If it's an existing roof deck, are you expanding it in any way? Are you providing access in a different way that this has triggered an appeal?
So we actually had a bad leak about a year ago at this point that required removing the entire roof deck in order to fix the underlying rubber roof, and ultimately filed the appropriate paperwork and permits in order to rebuild the deck, and learned it was never correctly permitted. So then ultimately wanted to go through the proper process to get it permitted to rebuild the structure that was there. We did hire an engineer who did make some updates in terms of the square footage of the deck got shifted back off the street. And my understanding is that is now in code or in accordance with the appropriate distance off the front of the building. And so the engineer did make some tweaks to the original footprint.
Okay, so what's the current dimension of proposed dimension of this deck?
It's on one of these forms. I apologize. I think it's 18 by 25.
And
That's
what,
correct. That's correct.
and what's the proposed access to this, first of all, let me ask you, is this a one or a two family, and is it owner occupied?
We are the owners, and it is a two-family condo. So we own the second and third floor and the complete access to the roof, and the other owner owns the basement and the street level.
Okay, so this board generally does not look kindly on access through, looks more kindly to access through a hatch. So please describe your proposed access to this roof deck.
So our proposed access is a head house. It is already constructed. As part of the unit that we purchased 5 years ago, it was existing. And so, that door would just open onto the deck structure is our proposal.
Okay, so let's just backtrack, because if the deck had not been properly permitted, likewise, the head house is likely not to have been adequately permitted. So talk us through that.
I believe my understanding is that the head house was adequately permitted as a exit opportunity of the second and third floor in case of emergency. But I could get that verified for the committee.
Okay, and what's the dimension of that head house?
I don't know exactly, but roughly 9 by 4, I believe.
Okay, got it. Okay, how are the plans, Mr. Ehrlich?
Well, I'm a little confused by some of the things the applicant has said and opposed to the plans, because the plan says existing roof deck access hatch. So, and you're saying that there was a head house there before, because this is saying that the existing roof deck was accessed by hatch.
That is incorrect, sir.
Okay, so then.
It currently stands, the head house currently stands as the depiction shown on the screen in the corner, as opposed to a hatch.
Okay, so then my second question is, if you had to rip up the roof deck in order to redo the roof, that didn't involve taking down the head house as well?
It did not.
Okay, I mean, again, just to echo the chair, we are not inclined to support roof decks that are accessed by a head house. Yeah, I mean, we're just not, and I think that presents a problem.
Okay, is anybody here to speak in support of this proposal?
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Natalia Benitez with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. Our office hosted an abutters meeting for this project on June 7th, and no abutter was in attendance. The applicant met with the Grove Street Citizens Association on May 23rd and June 27th. The association voted in support of the project and no concerns were raised. At this moment, our office would like to defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary here, we do have that letter the mayor's office spoke of from the Gov Street Committee.
Madam Chair, I have no raising it.
I am looking at the recommendation from our city's planning agency, and they're recommending approval that the deck be accessed via hatch. So may I have a motion, please?
Yeah, I just have one more question I meant to
Sure.
ask. What is the proposed size of the roof deck compared to what was there originally?
It is 2 feet further back off the front of the building. So the width is the same, but the length of the house, it's pulled back 2 feet.
Okay, so it's actually a little smaller.
Correct.
Okay. All right, well, I mean, this is a little bit unfortunate, given that the head house is there, but given that it was never built properly permitted, I'm gonna make a motion to approve the new roof deck, but removal of the head house and access by hatch.
And
Now,
is Mr. Ehrlich, is that through design review, so we ensure that that happens?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll
Mr.
second that motion, Madam Chair.
Okay, so Mr. Fortune,
Aye.
Mr. Ehrlich,
All right,
Araujo, aye, motion carries. Good luck.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 131-8143, 11 Monument Street. This is to build a roof deck with a spiral staircase. The violations, Article 62, Section 25, roof structure restrictions, and Article 62, Section 8. The building height is excessive in feet. Name and address for the record, please.
This is Matthew Gilbert. I'm joined by my wife, Lauren Gilbert, 11 Monument Street, number 2 in Charlestown. We're joined by our architect, Marco Severino from Flow Design as well.
So has this address been before this board before?
Not since we have lived here.
Okay.
It was remodeled in 2017. I'm sure it came before the board then.
Okay. So in the meantime, while we are listening to you, please, Tom, if you could check to see if there were any provisos put in when it came in for the remodel. In the meantime, please tell us what you're proposing.
Sure. We've proposed a roof deck on top of unit number 2. We own the second, most of the second and all of the third floor of the building, as well as the roof rights. Unit number 1 is owned by our neighbors. They own the first floor and part of the second, as well as the grounds in the back. My wife and I wanted to get some outdoor space. We're looking forward to raising a family in Charlestown. We have 2 very small decks off the property as it exists, and the roof deck would meaningfully expand the area in which we're able to have our family be outside and eat and such. So that was the reason.
Yes, you heard the previous questions of the previous applicant. Give us the dimensions of that proposed deck, if it's visible from the street, and how it is accessed.
Sure. The access will be from a spiral staircase that's to be built on the existing side deck and up to the dimensions of the main piece of the deck are roughly 16 by 23. There's a small walkway from the roof, from the spiral staircase to that main piece. The piece visible from the street, as you can see here, there's a pergola contemplated in the front. The rendering shows sort of slatted walls around that pergola. That is not the way it would be put in. It would simply be 4 posts and the small roof of the pergola.
I'm sorry, I have the AC and the fan going at the same time. So I'm just having a bit of difficulties. So I'm looking at the drawing and it says proposed roof deck. Is that what it's going to look like or not?
Yes, that's correct. But there's a pergola in the front here, and there's many different designs of pergola you could put in. What's been on here is one with some slatted walls, and I just want to be clear that what would actually go in would not have those walls around it. So it would simply be the 4 posts and the roof on top of it.
Okay. How are the plans, Mr. Ehrlich?
Well, the access is fine and the size of the deck is fine. It's really more than a roof deck. It is there's essentially a structure, although the applicant is now saying that there's no slats, but there's still a roof on it. I mean, it's showing, at least in the rendering, a wet bar, meaning plumbing is brought up, a flat screen TV. It's almost like there's another structure built on top of the roof. So it's not really a roof deck. It's a roof deck plus, and also that whole pergola structure is facing from I can tell from the prints, is facing the front of the street. So it really looks almost as if another floor is being added. So that's a concern.
Okay. Okay.
Let me ask the applicant a question. If you're not going to put the slats around, does that mean in the rendering, the flat screen is attached to the slats? Does that mean there's no flat screen?
It would be just resting on a countertop or on a post. It wouldn't be attached to anything structural.
So it would be exposed. It would be exposed to the elements
Underneath the roof of the pergola, but yes.
Okay. Okay. Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Caitlin Stapleton from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. Our office hosted a butters meeting on May 18th for this proposal. Since the meeting, the applicant has worked with the neighbors who have reached out to me. I have received no letters of support and no letters of opposition, but at this time, we would like to defer to the board. Thank you.
Okay. Just so that so the BPDA, and again, they are our planning and development agency, recommends that plans be submitted for design review and that the applicant work with the BPDA staff on size and location of the proposed deck to reduce the visibility due to its location within the neighborhood design overlay district. So I think that they reflect your concerns, Mr. Ehrlich.
Yes.
So can we have a motion, please?
Yeah, I'm going to make a motion for approval. The access is fine, the size of the deck is fine, but there needs to be serious design review to turn it into a roof deck and not into another structure to reduce the visibility of the pergola. So that's my motion.
I'll second that
So
motion.
BPDA design review, obviously.
Okay. Ehrlich,
Yes, aye.
Fortune,
Aye.
Araujo, aye. Motion carries with that proviso. Good luck.
Calling the next case, calling DOA 132-2787, 581 Boylston Street. This is to add a body art use to an existing business from retail, offices, restaurant, bank, beauty shop, telecommunications, school, and retail lunchroom to include a body art tattooing, permanent cosmetic makeup. There's no work to be done. The violations, Article 8, Section 7. A body art use is conditional in a B6 98 district. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, Julia Zayak, 581 Boylston Street.
So can you quickly tell us what you're proposing to do? How many rooms? How many staff?
I will have at least 2 staff members, if not 3, working at the same time, at the same shift. I am proposing to change the occupancy or allow me variance to be able to operate as a body art tattooing establishment.
Okay. And so let me just ask you, and is this going to be handicapped accessible?
Yes,
Okay,
we have an elevator. Mhm.
okay, and your hours of operation?
It will be once a week from 9 to probably 7 p.m., 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
So you're just gonna be open once a week?
Yes, we have other locations, and this is a location I've had in the Back Bay pretty much for 20 years. But now I've moved, and this is the new, I would have to go through this again, which is the change of occupancy to include permanent makeup, which is really what my forte is. It's not body art in that sense. Medical tattooing is what we specialize in.
Okay. Mr. Ehrlich, how are the plans?
The plans are fine. They're just a simple floor plan.
Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Jake Lacey of the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. A community meeting was hosted by our office in the spring of this year, and considering the proposed services that would be provided, a vote of non-opposition was provided by NABB. Our office has not received any letters of opposition, and at this time, our office would like to defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary, we have one letter of support.
Madam Chair, I do have one raised hand here. Sean Hunter, are you looking to give testimony on this proposal? I sent a request to unmute you.
I'm sorry, I was a panelist and I got knocked off. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yep, I have no additional raised hands, and Madam Chair, thank you.
May I have a motion, and please at the same time, may I have a motion and a second?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Araujo, approval. Fortune,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
motion carries. You're all set. Good luck.
Thank you.
Calling the next case, calling DOA 133-5134, 158 West Concord Street. This is to construct a 3-foot by 3-inch by 11-foot by 9.5 brick wing wall extension. The violations, Article 2A, Section 01, yard regulations. The wall exceeds the allowed 6-foot height in some areas on both sides. Name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. This is Jeffrey Rue from 158 West Concord Street. I'm the homeowner. With me here today is my wife, Sarah Rue, Aiden Lynn from Pomeroy and Company, who are the general contractors on the project, and Jim Skelton from Judge Skelton Smith, the architects on the project.
So let me ask you, is this a one family or two family owner occupied?
It's one family owner occupied.
Okay, and so explain to us what you're proposing to do.
Yes, Madam Chairman. The application here is to construct a wall over 6 feet in height in some areas of the side yard of the property, as shown on the schematic. The approved, already permitted portion of the wall is 6 feet going from the full length of the side yard. The portion of the wall that is closest to the actual home, the proposal is that it be increased up an additional a little over 3 feet. That will enhance the privacy on both sides, and aesthetically it gives the appearance that the deck is resting on that wall, which is the reason for the requested variance.
So I guess I need to ask you, with an 11-foot wall, what has your butter on that side? What is their opinion?
Yeah, so the wall would actually be in height. It would only be about 9 feet, a little over 9 feet. It's 11 feet of width, but only height up to 9.3, I believe. We have reached out to both neighbors, direct neighbors on to the left and the right, and both of them are fully supportive of the project. We discussed with them at the outset. We've also conducted and worked with the South End liaison of the mayor's office.
No, we'll hear from them. So thank you. So
Okay.
both abutters on both sides are in support, and they're both on both sides. Are they owner occupied?
Owner occupied on one side, the other side, it's a split home. And the owner, we've been in contact with the owner and the two renters of those condo units.
Okay. How are the plans, Mr. Ehrlich?
They're okay. It would have helped if there had been some either rendering or drawings of from elevations from all sides, so you could really see what the impact of this additional 3-foot wall section was going to look like. But I mean, at least from what I can see, it does not look like it's that big of a deal. But it's a little hard to tell.
To just clarify, sorry, this is Sarah Root jumping in. It is the additional 3 feet is not the entire length of the wall. I don't know if it's clear from what you're looking at. It's a short section.
You understand that?
We know that. Again, it would have been helpful if the drawings had shown context.
Okay, is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Hi, yes. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Kim Crisoli from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. The Mayor's Office would like to defer to the board at this time. Our office held an abutters meeting in May of 2022 where no opposition was shown from the abutters. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I have no raised hands.
Okay, so this is West Concord. May I have a motion, please?
I'm going to make a motion to approve with BPDA design review.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Ehrlich, I don't know, I guess rear yards are, yes, it's in south, okay. Fortune,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Araujo, aye. Motion carries for approval with BPDA design review.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 133-5900, 14 Blanche Street. This is a change of home from a single family to a 2-family, owner occupied, adding door with a window onto the 3rd floor and exterior stair, second egress, and confirm the home as a 1-family and change to a 2-family. The violations, Article 65, Section 41, off-street parking load. Article 65, Section 15, the use is forbidden. Article 65, Section 32, this is in the Neighborhood Development Overlay District. Review is required. In Article 65, Section 9, the floor area ratio is excessive. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, if you're on for this case and you're in the attendee section, can you raise your hand?
Madam Chair, they are here. They're actually in-house. They're outside our door right now,
Okay.
so they are here.
Okay, Tom, this is a forbidden use, and I'm not sure that even though it's a 1 to a 2-family conversion, specifically because this is in a 1-family district, if this is eligible to come before the subcommittee.
Madam Chair, anything for 1s and 2s, doesn't matter if it's forbidden or conditional, is permitted in the subcommittee.
Yeah, but there's, we should just make sure that because forbidden uses have different thresholds for approval, that we are clear about that. And, for the future, I would like to make sure that they are at the full board. Okay, so maybe go ahead. Is the applicant ready to go ahead?
Yes, hello. Diane Feeney. I'm right outside the door.
Okay, and your address, please?
14 Blanche Street in Dorchester.
Okay, so tell us what you're proposing to do.
So we purchased the home a year ago. My daughter and son-in-law live across the street from us, and that's why we did it. And it was an illegal 2-family, illegal. The 3rd floor had already had a kitchen and a full bathroom. And what we propose to do, so we did not change the footprint of the house. We did renovate, went through the short-term permit, we renovated the kitchen and want to change it into from a one-family to a two-family. I will tell you that 20 Blanche Street.
Okay, so let me just ask you about this part.
Yeah.
So tell us about the proposed size or the size, number of square feet in this proposed second unit and the floor to ceiling height
So so it's under 900 feet. It is 2 small rooms, a hallway, and a full bathroom. I did put the plans in, so I don't have those. And it's considered a queen Anne, so the height of the ceiling is, gosh, it's on the 3rd floor. It's greater than 7 feet. I know that. So we didn't change.
So let me get back.
Ask me questions, please.
So you're stating for the record that this is a 900 square feet.
No, less than. I'm just giving that as an estimate, but it's less than 900 square feet.
So we want to know like more realistic ballpark. We just want to know that it's not 200 or 300 or 400. We kind of want to know exactly where it lands.
Let me, because I believe I put the plans in from, I had been asked to hire a structural engineer to measure all 4 floors from the basement to the 3rd floor. And those plans are in on the long-term permit.
Okay. And if I'm reading the plans that are on the screen correctly, you're also proposing a new dormer. Is that going to function as the second means of egress?
Yes, and the difference is that from an aesthetic looking, the staircase to the ground floor, looking at the plans, is on the left side of the house, which aesthetically would not look nice because from the front of the house. So instead, I believe the plans are in there to show a spiral staircase from the 1st floor to the 2nd floor landing instead of having this huge.
Okay, so
yes.
Okay, so hold on while we get some information. Mr. Ehrlich, how are the plans?
They're pretty bare bones. It shows the door with leading out to the landing, and then the staircase going down as a second means of egress. So I assume that was done in order to comply with code. To the applicant, what are the materials that stairwell is made out of? Is it wood or metal, or what is it?
No, it's wood, and the spiral staircase will be galvanized steel.
Okay.
So I don't know. So this is the second means of egress.
This would be the second means, exactly.
Okay. And Mr. Ehrlich, can you tell 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and kind of the size of the
what's on the screen now is you've got the plan view. There's a kitchen, there's a dining room. I mean, it's not big, but it's adequate.
Okay, thank you. Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. George Schwinn with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. Our office hosted an abutters meeting for the proposal on May 11th. There were a number of abutters on, but no concerns. Clam Point Civic Association has issued a letter of support. At this time, our office will defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
I'm sure I have no.
Madam Chair, sorry, Jessica. Madam Chair, Secretary, we do have that letter that George spoke of, and we also have one other supporting letter. So we have two support letters together.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion for approval with BPDA design review on the exterior changes.
I'm going to second that motion as well.
Okay, Fortune,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Araujo, aye. Motion for approval with design review carries. Good luck.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 134-0516-10 Belton Street. This is to construct a rear second-story addition to the existing single-family home. This is violations, Article 65, Section 9, the floor area ratio is excessive, and Article 65, Section 9, the rear yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
John Doherty, 10 Belton Street, Dorchester.
So please tell us what you're proposing to do.
We're proposing to put on a second floor addition to an existing first floor. Footprint is staying exactly the same. The homeowners, the Stephen, had a stroke 5 years ago, so we put on that addition. And now since that, his wife has been diagnosed with cancer. And she has to set up a bed every night and take it down in the morning. And she is the main caregiver. It's getting to be very stressful physically and mentally. So this is to make life easier for her.
And is this a one family or a two family?
It is a single family.
Okay, so if this is a second story addition, so tell me, is that proposed to be handicapped accessible in any way or not?
There's going to be a lift from the first floor to the second floor. The first floor is already handicapped accessible.
Okay, how are the plans, Mr. Ehrlich?
The plans are straightforward. They're okay.
Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, George Quinn with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. There were no concerns in the community, and the Cedar Grove Civic Association has written a letter of support. At this time, our office will defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary, here we have that letter that George just spoke of, plus we also have 22 support letters.
Madam Chair, I have no raised hands.
May I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve BPDA design review for the exterior addition.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, Fortune,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Araujo, aye. The motion for approval with BPDA design review carries.
Thank you so much.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 133-4845, 57 Ocean Street. This is to install a curb cut and basic driveway at 8.5 feet by 20 feet, located in the front left corner of the lot. The violations, Article 65, Section 41, off-street parking. The off-street parking shall not be located in the front yard. Name and address for the record, please.
I don't know. Matthew Malloy, 57 Ocean Street, Dorchester, Massachusetts.
Mr. Malloy, tell us what you're proposing to do.
Sure. I'm in the process of trying to secure a spot for an electric vehicle. I'm not allowed to have a charging station nor drape a cord across the sidewalk per city ordinance. The goal here, and working with Rhodey Architects, was design a very tasteful all brick 23-foot single car driveway for the ability to charge an electric vehicle. And so that's what I've been proposing.
Let me ask you, is there no other option? Because this board has historically really been opposed to having parking in the designated front yard, which is what this looks like.
Sure. So I did provide 5 additional examples, 3 abutters and 2 within the same block.
So I just like to tell you that some of these photos, they may be illegal driveways, So generally, that's not a good strategy. So
Okay.
can you go back and just tell us about if you have any other options?
So I did try to engage to the neighbor on the left about using a shared driveway, and unfortunately, due to the nature of a financial situation, they have sold their business. They're basically the home to the bank, and so I can no longer put in a shared driveway. So I did go down that path 2 years ago. That is not an option, and so the only option at this point is to put in a single car driveway at this point. I did make that effort for sure, and did actually offer $10,000 to my neighbor, which I had to rescind because lack of ownership of the property.
Okay. Okay, how are the plans, Mr. Ehrlich?
Well, I mean, the idea of getting a charging station for electric vehicle is certainly laudable, but it's front yard parking. There's just no getting around it.
Yeah. Okay, is anybody here to speak in support or in opposition?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, George Quinn with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. Our office hosted a butters meeting for this proposal on June 1st, and many were in support of the project. However, two abutters spoke with concern regarding precedent for driveways to be created on quote unquote the side of the house. The Ashmont Hill Association has written a letter of support. At this time, our office will defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary, we do have 9 letters of support.
Madam Chair, I do have a few raised hands here. I'll start with Sean Wheeler. Can you give your name and address for the record, please?
Sure. My name is Sean Wheeler, and I live at 75 Ocean Street. I'm here today to support my neighbor at 57 Ocean, who has requested a variance for a curb cut.
Thank you. Thank you. The next person.
Can I?
Brenda Davis.
Hi, my name is Brenda Davis, and I'm a direct abutter. I am on the right-hand side of 57 Ocean Street. I'm at 53. And I am not in support of it because several other neighbors have asked for this same thing, not including an electric car, but they've been denied, and the Ashmont Hill Association has adamantly denied them. So I don't think it's fair that this property be allowed to have a driveway in its front lawn when other neighbors have not, and it's pitting neighbor against neighbor.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, and Rachel Goodwin.
Can I speak, please? I didn't get a chance to speak.
No, Mr. Wheeler, you voted and you put your voice in support. Can I hear?
Brenda gave some advice.
Miss Ambassador, can you please mute everybody?
Okay, Rachel Goodwin, go ahead. Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, my name is Rachel Goodwin, and I'm the direct abutter on the left-hand side where the driveway will be right next to my property. There's basically not enough room next to his house to put it on the side. And I'm objecting for 2 reasons. One is that I think we have to, as a city, face that people really want electric vehicles. And be a perfect neighborhood to try to work on that. We could be shiny.
So let me just ask you, Ms. Goodwin, you sent in your letter? Did you send in that letter? Because I did read it. And so do you have another point to make?
I didn't send in a letter.
You didn't? Okay. Because so first of all, you're in opposition, but you have some philosophical questions, which I think you should have raised through your neighborhood group. Okay.
Well,
so
wait, there's a specific, the fact that my house is right next to that's also very important opposition. I live on a corner where I've been hit twice, one time by a police car, about stolen car being chased by a police car as the cars go around the corner. And in order to protect my car, I parked my car right next to the property, right on the property line between my and
okay.
And I can't.
So basically what you're saying is that there is on-street parking on this side of the street then? Is what I understand then. Is Mr. Malloy, can you answer that question?
Yes, I can. There's plenty of on-street parking and on Ocean Street.
Okay. So I'm looking at the Boston Planning and Development Agency always makes recommendations to this board using their planning hat. And they are recommending denial without prejudice because it's located in the front yard and it would privatize an on-street parking space. So may I have a motion, please?
Yeah, I'm going to make a motion. I agree with the analysis of the BPD. It would be nice if there was some way to figure out alongside the house. I assume that there may not be enough space to the lot lines, but I'm going to make a motion to deny without prejudice in the hope that some other formulation can be come up with.
Unfortunately, there is no. I've actually.
Sorry, there's a motion on the table.
Madam Chair, I'm going to second that motion, and it does look like, if I'm looking at Google Maps correctly, I think they can push it down somewhere down the road.
Okay, so Fortune,
Aye.
Oleg,
Aye.
Araujo, aye. The motion for denial without prejudice carries. Good luck.
Calling the next case, calling DOA 133-6189, 2005 Dorchester Avenue. This is to extend the driveway to park vehicles on the side of the house. The violation is Article 65, Section 41, off-street parking requirement. The location parking is required. The front yard is not allowed. The corner lot rule or 2 front yards exist. Article 65, Section 9, the residential dimensional regulations, insufficient usable open space identified. Name and address for the record.
My name is Francine Times, 2005 Dorchester Ave, Dorchester, Mass.
So tell us what you're proposing to do.
Well, what it is I had some bushes that was around my house, and I had them removed. And the fence that was there on the Hurlcroft Ave side has also been removed. And on the side of my house where the den is, I just want to asphalt that area just so I can park my vehicles.
So give us a little bit of background. Is this a 1 or a 2 family?
This is a single family home.
Okay, and it's owner occupied.
Owner occupied.
Yeah, and did I understand, because the BPDA talks about you have an approval for an extension, which was approved in 2019. Did you build the extension?
I had to abandon the project because of the funds. I couldn't get funding, so I had abandoned that project, but I did want to expand my driveway.
Okay, so that actually gives us some more information, because have you thought, so the proposed addition was a proposed addition for a garage? Is that what it was?
No, what the original plan was going to be, the garage was going to be torn down so I can put an addition onto the house, but I had since abandoned that project, so I went to a plan B. I'm going to just do the work inside my house, but I do want to extend my parking on the outside of the house, because I do have.
So let me just tell you, so where is your front door? Your front door is on Dorchester Ave?
Yes.
Okay, so the issue that we could possibly have here is that you're proposing a very wide curb cut on Holcroft Ave.
I don't need a curb cut. I don't need it.
Okay. How are the plans, Mr. Ehrlich? Is it any clearer than what's in front of us?
Well, it's gotten a little clearer. So to the applicant, a couple of questions. So the proposed addition was not built. Is the garage still there?
Yes.
Okay. And there was already a curb cut leading into the garage?
There's a curb cut that yes, there is, because there is an existing driveway there already.
On Hurlcroft, okay.
Yes,
And on the drawing that's in front of us, what is the area that's in pink? What is that?
That's where my bushes were, and I had them removed. So now it's a big dirt area and I want to asphalt that to extend my driveway.
And
So-
how many cars are you
so how-
proposing to park?
I have 2 vehicles currently.
And how wide is it? Because the problem is that the drawings don't show what you're saying, so.
Oh,
have to-
I apologize, but
No, that's fine. So we're just trying to be clear. So how wide is the driveway that you're proposing?
well, I sent my liaison, George, pictures of what it looks like now. I don't know if he can access that for you, but I can go outside and show you. Because I'm at home, I can show you what it looks like outside.
No, we appreciate that, but it helps us to have dimensions, you know, how many feet, so we can figure out how to make everything work.
So here's what would be helpful.
That's what we should have been pulling, and I said that. I said that.
It would be helpful if you could.
Like really, if you want to have a deck, you go after that equipment.
What's that background noise?
So that's what my call is.
Mr. Ambassador, can we have everybody muted, please? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So to the applicant, it would be helpful if you could come back with a slightly amended drawing. The plot plan is fine. It doesn't have to be anything more than that, but we need to know what the size of the curb cut is, the existing one. We need to know where the garage is located, and we need to know how wide the driveway is that you're proposing. Until we can see that, and I appreciate your offer to go out and show us on FaceTime, but actually that we really need a drawing, you know, stamped drawing that would show that. So until then, at least I don't feel comfortable making a motion one way or the other.
And you know what would be helpful is also to include the paved drive that's already there, because then maybe you could have more of some grass or flowers or something next to your house, with that first floor porch or whatever it is that you have at the corner. Okay, so is there a motion for deferral?
I'm going to make a motion.
Madam Chair, before we do the motion, I just wanted, Bob D'Amico did speak on this. He did say it was front yard parking, so he was making a motion for denial. So I just want to make sure.
But Mr. Fortune, if it's actually going into a garage, it's not front yard parking. That's why.
I would agree. I'm on Google Maps looking at it. So there is an existing garage and there's a vehicle parked in the driveway with the curb cut. So I don't see it being front yard because it is a corner, but I'm just letting you know that Mr. D'Amico.
Okay, well, we will, improved drawings will, I think, resolve all of this.
So
I would agree.
So Mr. Ehrlich, you're in support for deferral, Mr.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, Araujo is also in support, so the motion for deferral carries. And the date?
We can do August 18th if the applicant can get that information over to us.
Ms. Times, will you be able to get that information to this board before the 18th?
Do I have to have somebody draw it out? Can I give you measurements and all that stuff? Can I do that?
I'm pretty sure you can measure it out and give us a sense, okay? Because you don't need, you likely don't need all that purple space or all that space, you know? So just kind of.
But again, you may want to get someone with stamp a drawing. I think you want someone to stamp a drawing that shows where the garage is, shows where the proposed driveway is, shows where the curb cut is. So I think whoever did this, you should go back to them and get an updated version.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So that'll be August 18th at 5 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 130-9944-65 Thompson Street. This is to construct a new two-story addition in the rear of the yard. The violation is Article 69, Section 9, the floor area ratio is excessive. In Article 69, Section 9, the rear yard is insufficient.
Okay.
Name and address for the record, please.
Governor Donna, Margaret Mangwell, Jean, 65 Thompson Street in Hyde Park.
So, Mr. Jean, can you speak a little bit louder?
Sure.
And tell us, please, what you're proposing to do.
We are proposing to build an extension in the back of the house because family's overgrown and we have grandparents living with us. We have to take care of them, so we need a little extra space. And so we are building the extension in the back, about 15 feet. And so we can have a room for the grandparents and also our nephew. And the bedroom upstairs will be open and will be converted into bathrooms, and then another bedroom.
Okay, so let me ask you a couple of questions. So is this a one-family home or homeowner occupied?
Yes.
Okay, and so what do I see? Is there a unit in the basement? Because it does talk about existing basement plan.
No, it's an office and laundry room and utility room.
So are you proposing then those bedrooms are they proposed to be in the basement that we see on the proposed basement plan, 2 bedrooms in the basement?
When we push it back, it's gonna be level. It's not. I think the elevation is different. It's on a little hill, so it will be normal height. That's why it is considered as a 2-story. So that part of the house will no longer be a basement. It's just another, basically first floor.
Okay. Please, can we move to the next page and see what the second floor looks like? Okay. So it's going to be a 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be a 5-bedroom unit. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. How are the plans, Mr. Ehrlich?
The plans are fine. It's to the rear, the ground slopes down, so it's a walkout at that point.
Okay. Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Jake Lacey from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. The applicant completed the community process by attending a Factory Hill Neighborhood Association community meeting on May 11th, 2022, where they received support for the project. Our office has received 1 letter of opposition, which has been provided to the board. The abutter believes that there is not enough land for what the applicant proposes, and also expressed concerns for adjacent wetlands in the area. At this time,
what was the opposition based on again?
Concerns about size of just like the lot in general, and then also there's adjacent wetlands, another street back in Hyde Park, and just concerns about how that would impact kind of that ecosystem.
Okay, got it.
But we defer decision to the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary, we have 3 letters of opposition. We have that letter that the mayor's office just spoke of.
And let's see, and the BPDA is recommending approval with design review. May I have a motion, please?
Again, I'm going to agree with the BPDA and make a motion for approval with design review.
I'll second that motion.
So, Fortune?
Aye.
Ehrlich?
Aye.
Araujo? Aye. Motion for approval with design review carries.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Sorry. Calling the next case, calling DOA 132-4414, 65 Business Street. This is a new curb cut, install off-street parking for 2 vehicles. The violations, Article 10, Section 1, the limitation of area of accessory uses, and Article 69, Section 29, off-street parking and loading. Off-street parking design, maneuverability, tandem parking is not permitted. Name and address for the record.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Jason Clements of 65 Business Street.
So, Mr. Clements, you've sat through a couple of other requests for parking. Tell us what you're proposing here.
So I'm just proposing a straightforward driveway to get my vehicle off the street. I'm also looking into purchasing a second vehicle for my business, and I'm unable to do so because parking on the street has become somewhat of a hazard. But as I said, I'm just looking for a straightforward driveway, and I've spoken to a butter.
Okay, no. So when you talk to us, just give us the information about the proposal. Okay. So tell us, let's just, Ms. yeah, can you, so it looks like that second space is going to hit, so this is a 1 or a 2-family dwelling?
So this is a 2-family dwelling. It's owner occupied. So I am the only person who will be parking in that driveway. My tenants have off-street parking. So
Where is their off-street parking?
right in front of the house. So
Oh, I see, they're on-street parking. Okay, got it.
the proposed curb
Okay.
cut is 10 to 12 feet wide, so they will have ample space to park, 2 cars if they have them in front of the house.
Okay, and so tell us about this parking, because it looks like in the rear, that rear spot, you
Yes.
may be hitting a set of stairs. Explain that piece to
So
us.
I'm actually only looking forward to going up to the bulkhead. That must have been a mishap on the whoever drew up the plan, but I'm only looking to go up to the bulkhead. So it will not go up to the stairs as you see it in the drawing.
Okay, so the question becomes, if you go up to the bulkhead,
Yes.
does it mean that space number 1, the one closest to the street, then the vehicle in that spot needs to move and park in your front yard?
No, that's actually on the side of the house. So it'll be on the side. If you can
No,
see.
but we
where
define the front yard. So let me take a minute and say that the front yard for zoning purposes is defined as the area between the front line of the building and the street.
Okay.
So that is called the front yard. So the question becomes, if you move the second space to the bulkhead line, then it sounds like you need to have that first space in the front yard. And that is not something this board supports. And so that's not something the board supports.
So with that being said, if I can just fit one vehicle on the side of the house, that will be sufficient for me to get my car off the street and open it up for other people to be able to park there, because when I come from work, I have to search around for parking, and I'm just looking to get my vehicle off the street.
And so,
Madam Chair,
from what we understand, yep.
Madam Chair, Secretary here, I don't know, might be able to clarify things. Bob D'Amico has spoke on this one. Would you like his comments? It might be able
Yes,
to be
please.
helpful. Okay.
Yeah.
Regarding 65 Business Street, tandem parking is acceptable due to it involves a private location. The issues he does see is the concern as follows: to extend the proposed parking area to prevent front yard parking and extend the current curb cut.
Got it. Okay. How are the plans, Mr. Ehrlich?
Well, I actually think that it's pretty straightforward. It's a 10-foot curb cut, which is fine. And the 2 spaces, even if they go right up to the stairs, that's okay. And it avoids front yard parking. They're 8.5 by 20, which is adequate.
Yeah, the only thing I'm concerned about if it goes up to the stairs is that if those stairs are second means of egress and there's a problem, that somebody could get boxed in or something.
But it shows 10 feet in width there. So
Okay.
so there should be someone ought to be able to get out alongside the car without any trouble. If he only does one car, then it's no good, because then so I actually think it's okay.
Okay, so let me go ahead. Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Jake Lacey again with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. And a butters meeting was held on May 18th, 2022. And there was full support from the neighbors for that meeting. We also received a few letters of support as well. At this time, we defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary here. The only letters we have are 3 letters of opposition. We don't have any support letters. The mayor's office spoke of.
Yes, and the BPDA is recommending denial without prejudice because of 2 adjacent curb cuts, but I don't think that's a big issue.
No.
If you can accommodate everything. So may I have a motion, please?
Yeah, as long as it's a 10-foot curb cut, I'm going to make a motion for approval.
Do you need design review?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so just for the roll call, Fortune,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Araujo, aye. So motion for approval carries. You're all set. Good luck.
Thank you, members of the board.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 134-4480, 81 to 87 Fairmont Avenue. This is a change of occupancy in restaurant and increase the occupant load to 152 and include outdoor seating and live entertainment. The violation is Article 69, Section 8. The use is forbidden, and Article 69, Section 9, the rear yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Sean Hunter, representing Park 54 Restaurant and Lounge, 81 Fairmont Avenue.
Okay, so this is ultimately, but I'm going to recommend that this go to the full board because again, this is a commercial use and it is a forbidden use. So may I have a motion for deferral? And sorry about that, Mr. Hull.
Madam Chair, this is Tom. We do
Yep.
commercial space with under 35,000 square feet.
I just because it's also going to go for live entertainment. So I would prefer that it be heard by the full board. So may I have a motion, please?
Motion to defer.
I'll second that motion.
So Fortune,
Aye.
Ehrlich, aye. Sorry, Ehrlich,
Aye.
Araujo, aye. At the date, please, for the full board.
Well, we can do the 26th. I think we can squeeze them in for next Tuesday
Okay, so can you
at
appear?
11:30.
Okay. Can you appear on Tuesday at 11:30?
Yes, we can.
Okay, excellent. See you then. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 132-81457 Boylston Street. Just to replace the rear deck, replace the front porch, finish attic with 2 new dormers and install a new roof. The violation, Article 10, Section 1, limitation of parking area, Article 55, Section 9, excessive FAR, and Article 55, Section 40, off-street parking and loading. Name and address for the record, please.
Madam Chair, members of the board, my name is Kyle Smith of Statero Law, business address of 359 Newbury Street in Boston Back Bay.
So tell us what's being proposed.
Madam Chair, what's being proposed is to essentially remove the roofing structure, adding dormers that run laterally on both left and right side of the roofing structure to expand livable area for the second unit, which exists currently only on the second floor as far as livable area, to expand into the attic area, which expands FAR from approximately a 0.6 to a 0.9. We're also seeking to have a curb cut on the right side of the structure to add 2 off-street parking spaces to the right of the existing structure. And then
I'm sorry, I didn't ask you this before.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
this a 1 or a 2 family owner occupied?
It is currently it's a 2-family. The owners are trying to enroll their daughter into the Curley School, so their intent is to live here once the construction work is completed.
Okay, so tell us what would be the total square foot of the space once everything is said and done.
The proposed total would be 3,174 square feet, with a current lot size of 3,531 square feet, which
Okay.
is a proposed FAR of 0.9.
Okay, and so they're proposing to live in the unit. Are they on this call so we can get verification from them?
Yes, Madam Chair, we have Jin Chung and also Chris Reed on the call.
Okay, so we just need, okay. And tell us about the parking. How is the parking proposed?
So the parking is to be proposed to the right side of the structure. If you can see from the site plan submitted, we have a proposed 10-foot curb cut, spaces 9 feet in width, 18 feet in depth. We do have a memorandum of understanding with the owner to our immediate right, the most impacted abutter as it relates to the parking. There are existing curb cuts on this odd side of the street at 1, 3, 9, 11, 15, 19, 23, 31, 41, 43, 51, 53, 67, 69, and 77 Boylston Street.
So this is the one of the only ones that don't have.
I wouldn't say one of the only ones, but there are a very large number of existing structures that do have existing curb cuts.
And I'm sure that you heard the conversation with the applicant, with the previous applicant at Business Street. It looks to me that this is proposed front yard parking.
Yes, Madam Chair. So if you can see, we have a easement onto our parcel from our structure to our left, for which that parking is breaking the plane of the front of the building, but that is largely consistent with all of the other curb cuts that I had referenced here, or a vast majority. We do have the depth.
Mr. Smith, I'm looking at the plan that's right up there right now. And it says proposed curb cut. And it looks like that front parking space is entirely in the front yard, because as I had mentioned previously, the front yard for zoning purposes is defined as the line off the building and the extension thereof to the property line. Anything between that line and the sidewalk is considered front yard. So it looks like this proposal is proposing front yard parking. Is there a possibility of moving one of the spaces further into that yard?
I would say that, it was noted we were cited for a front yard violation, so it was contemplated. I do think that given the width of the lot size, we can push those spaces deeper. If it's the request of the chair, we can extend the length of the drive to try to make sure that both parking spaces are flush with the front of the building. That would remove some usable open space, but that wouldn't then trigger an additional violation for our purposes. So that is possible if that is the request.
Okay. How are the plans, Mr. Ehrlich?
The drawings are fine. You pointed out the only issue, if the driveway is moved back, so the front lines up with the front of the house, and the curb cut size is, it doesn't say on the drawing what the width is, but I would want to keep it to 10 feet. If all that is done, then it becomes acceptable.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I just want to make sure that Bob D'Amico's comments, he does say it's front yard parking.
Okay. Thank you. Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Jake Lacey from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. The applicant has undergone a robust community process, managing to gain support from both the abutters and the Jamaica Plain Neighborhood Council's zoning committee. To date, our office has 3 letters of support on file, and at this time, we respectfully defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I do have a raised hand. Mark, are you all set? Okay, I'll open it up for Chris. Chris, since you request to unmute you, can you state your name and address for the record, please, once you're unmuted?
Oh, sorry, we have a meltdown going on. Defer to the next commenter for right now.
Okay, I have no other raised hand.
I think you are the only commenter.
Well, listen, you're all set. Otherwise, I have no additional raised hands, Madam Chair.
Okay, okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'm going to make a motion for approval with 3 provisos.
I'm sorry, approval with 3 provisos?
Yeah, one is BPDA design review. The second is that the driveway be extended so that the front of the front parking space be aligned with the front of the house. And the third is that the curb cut be restricted to 10 feet wide.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. So, Fortune,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Araujo, aye. So motion with those 3 provisos carries. You're all set. Good luck.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 1329432, 27 Sherwood Street. This is to replace a screen porch to an existing porch. The violations, Article 67, Section 9, the front yard is insufficient, and Article 67, Section 9, the side yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Mr. Ehrlich, Mr. Fortune, Tom Miller, on behalf of the applicant, Cindy Laba, who has joined us tonight. As was read into the record, this project is to propose to add screens to an existing deck at the rear of the property. It's pre-existing. The deck is about approximately 166 square feet. The deck has been existing since 1962, at least. That was the first permit, or the oldest permit I could find, which was pulled to repair it. As I stated, this is a pre-existing deck. We were cited for 2 violations for work that was done around 1986 to repair the existing front porch and the existing rear porch at the time. Both those violations have been closed through permits issued in 1986, about 3 months after the violations were cited. This project is simply to.
Sorry, Mr. Miller. Can you please help with the diagram so we can,
Yes, ma'am.
everything is on the screen? I don't know, Steph, is that you who's handling the screen today?
Yeah.
Yeah, Steph, can you, so that we can just see the whole property, because it looks like it's just a one-page thing, so it would help us to understand if everything was, you might need to go
If you can
to
zoom out.
98% or something like that.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. So as the chair can see and the board can see, the proposed screening in of this existing porch is in the lower rear, lower right, because lower right of the property in the rear of the house. It's that existing 166 approximately square feet. The porch is existing, has existed for longer than I've been alive.
Okay, so, but not as long as some of us have been alive. So if I'm looking at the drawing correctly, it looks like that the area under consideration is this existing enclosed porch to be rebuilt.
Yes, so the porch was not previously enclosed. The reason the application listed as existing was my client pulled the permit, or her contractor did, started the work and was then cited.
How are the plans, Mr. Ehrlich?
The plans are okay. Where is the front door? Is it off the porch near the top of the drawing?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the plan's fine.
Thank you. Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition?
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Udra Nochi and I serve as the Rosendale liaison. We hosted a meeting for this project on June 1st, and my office has received 11 statements of support, and that comes in letters as well as people speaking in the meeting. I think those were also shared, and they have contacted their closest neighborhood association as well. At this moment, we'd like to defer judgment to the board.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary, we have 12 letters of support.
Okay.
And Madam Chair, I do have a raised hand. Paula, you looking to give testimony here? If so, can you state your name and address for the record, please?
My name's Paula Norberg, and I live at 31 Sherwood Street, and I am Cindy's neighbor directly to her left. And I support this project. I have no problem with it. And I think I am the most impacted by it
Thank you.
in the neighborhood.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve. I don't think we need design review.
No, I agree with you.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, Fortune.
Aye.
Ehrlich.
Aye.
Araujo. Aye. Motion carries. Approval. All set. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 132-1257, 819 Hayden Street. This is a renovation in addition to Unit 2, an existing two-family detached building, including a slightly revised second floor layout, refinished bath, new front and unit stairwell to the third floor, and a third floor mansard roof. This is going to be a master suite and a recessed balcony to the rear. The violations, Article 67, Section 9, the floor area ratio is excessive. Article 67, Section 9, the building has excessive in stories. Article 67, Section 9, the side yard is insufficient. And Article 67, Section 9, the rear yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Anat Beck Nachtigal, 82 Spring Street, West Roxbury.
And Derek Rubinoff also from Derek Rubinoff Architect, 82 Spring Street in West Roxbury.
So first, can you clarify that this is owner occupied and tell us what's being proposed?
Sure, it's a two-family, owner-occupied, two-family. So we are removing the hip roof, the existing hip roof, and replacing with a mansard roof. We are proposing that the mansard roof will be addition to the second unit, and it will remain a two-family. The
Okay.
attic
And
level.
sorry, let me ask you, what's the square footage of the proposed addition?
We are adding 912 square foot.
912 square foot addition. Okay, that's almost like another story up there.
It is a story.
How are the plans? How are the plans, Mr. Ehrlich?
The plans are fine. By changing the roof line and putting a mansard in, they've allowed themselves to effectively add the other story without really changing the height of the building.
Okay. Mr. Rubinoff, any sense of how close they are to the abutters?
We are just extending an existing nonconformity on one of the side setbacks. The other one conforms. So specifically, the 10-foot setback is required on one side. On the east side, we have 14.2 feet, and the west side is 6.8 feet. And those are existing nonconformities that we would be extending upward.
Okay. Let me just see. Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. This is Udra Nochi again. We hosted this meeting on May 18th. They did reach out to their closest neighborhood association. The neighbors to the rear of the property were worried about how the height may affect the sunlight on their property. But because the property will be going up only 6 inches, it was stated in the meeting that it wouldn't be too much of a problem. And at this moment, we would like to defer judgment to the board.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Jordan from Councilor Arroyo's office. We'd like to go in support of this proposal. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary here, we do have 2 letters of support.
Madam Chair, I have no reason.
Let's see, may I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve BPDA design review.
I'll second that motion.
Fortune,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Araujo, aye. It's been approved with BPDA design review. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 131-9341, 351 Cornell Street. This is a dormer addition, rear deck, and new siding. The violations, Article 67, Section 9, the floor area ratio is excessive. Article 67, Section 9, the building has excessive in stories. Article 67, Section 9, the front yard's insufficient. And Article 67, Section 9, the side yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Chris Garoppolo, 60 Bayswater Street. I will be representing my sister, Paniota Wariski, who owns the property.
Okay, is this owner occupied?
Yes, it's owner occupied. We've had this in our family for over 25 years. My sister bought the house from my mother and now resides in it. We're just looking to give it a nice little upgrade because it hasn't been updated since we moved in '96.
Okay, I happen to live around the corner, kind of around the corner and down the street. And so it looks like it's going through a massive renovation already.
Yeah.
But the intention is that it'll continue to be owner occupied.
Yes, she's going to move in there, move back in there once we're done renovating for her. We started as just upgrading the first and second floor kind of, but then we realized that the layout wouldn't work out. So that's why we switched from the single form to go to a long form to ask for the dormer and the roof and the finished basement.
And a finished basement. So tell us, let's just start with the basement. What's the occupancy proposed in the basement?
Just like a family room with a half bath, just so my niece could have her own private space to hang out with her friends. She's turning 16 soon, so.
So the problem is that, okay, so it's a family room. It's not a bedroom in the basement.
No, there will not be a bedroom in the basement, not at all.
Okay, so now let's go to the proposed dormer. Tell us about what the use is in the dormer.
That will be the master bedroom for my sister and her husband to basically have
Okay,
some private space.
the issue, let's just look at this, is that it changes from a 2.5 story to a 3-story. And so, okay. How are the plans, Mr. Ehrlich?
The drawings are okay. One question, it doesn't show ceiling height in the basement or attic. Do you know what that is to the applicant?
The basement height is around 7 feet 10 inches right now.
And proposal for the attic?
I don't have that exactly off the top of my head, but I think it was about 8 feet.
Okay.
Okay, and so I do have a question about your impact on your abutter, because there is a house next to you. If you look at the house on the left-hand side, how
Yes.
close will you be to the property line? And then what's the distance from their wall to your wall?
We're not adding anything onto their side of the house. It was
Okay.
nothing will impact them. We will not be changing anything that goes in between my sister's house and their house. They will have all the same space they've had. They have a driveway for 4 cars right next to ours, basically. So, and then we have just the yard space would be the pathway to get to the backyard.
Okay. So, Mr. Ehrlich, I asked you about the plans.
They're fine.
Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition to this proposal?
Good evening, Madam Chair. It's Udra Nochi with the Mayor's Office. We hosted a community meeting for this project on May 4th. There was no one in attendance for this project, and we haven't received any letters of support or opposition. We'd like to defer judgment to the board.
Okay, Ms. Ambassador, any raised hands?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve BPDA design review.
I'll second that motion.
2 women support, Fortune,
Aye.
Ehrlich,
Aye.
Araujo, aye. Motion for approval with design review carries, and knowing that it's going to stay a 1 family. Okay,
Thank you so much.
good luck.
Thank you very much.
Calling the last case of the night, calling BOA 132-8658, 8 Curlew Street. This is to extend living space into the basement. The violation is Article 56, Section 8. The floor area ratio is excessive. Name and address for the record, please.
Joe Lawler, 8 Curlew Street, West Roxbury, single family dwelling, owner occupied.
Okay, so Mr. Lawler, tell us what you're proposing to do.
Extend the living area into the basement. I have a son that's home now with the COVID and all, home working, and it's kind of with my wife having medical issues, we're trying to put him downstairs in the basement with his own bedroom, bathroom, and laundry area.
Will he have a kitchen down there?
No, it's just like a
Okay.
wet bar. There's a little wet, little sink, and that's it.
Okay, so tell us about the floor to ceiling height in the basement.
It's 7'6", 7.5 feet.
Okay, and the bedroom, tell us about the windows in the bedroom. What's the proposed floor to sill height?
There's gonna be 2 windows there, and it's in the drawing there. The sill height is 28 inches.
Floor to sill is 28 inches.
28 inches off the ground, yes. So there's
Okay.
the other one in the middle is 42 inches.
Okay,
The one closest, the one to the front of the house is a bigger window, that's 28 inches.
so and you're proposing to maintain, because I did do a site visit a couple of days ago. Are you proposing to maintain a separate entrance?
It will have two entrances, yes. In the front and in the side.
Okay. Mr. Ehrlich, my screen is blacked out again. How are the plans?
Well, it's an interesting, what they're proposing is to turn the garage into the bedroom, and the garage, when it was built, was dug out, so actually it's a walkout situation while the rest of the basement is below grade. So it actually works from that point of view. They'll turn the garage door into, you know, a facade with a door. And as the applicant said, there is a proposed wet bar in the bathroom. You know, could it be turned into a separate unit? That would be a concern, but as of now, that's not what's being proposed.
Okay, and Mr. Lawler, you're confirming that this is a single family and the intention is to have it remain a single family?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is anybody here to speak either in support or in opposition of this proposal?
Chair, members of the board, Jake Lacy from the mayor's office. The applicant went in front of the West Roxbury Neighborhood Council on May 24th, 2022, where the zoning committee voted 7-0 in support of the project. Our office also received one letter of support from a neighbor on Petrel Street. We have not received any letters of opposition, and at this time, we defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary here, we do have that letter the mayor's office spoke out.
Okay. Given that information, may I have a motion, please?
Yeah, I'm going to make a motion to approve with two provisos, BPDA design review for the configured front entrance, and a proviso that it remain a single family occupancy.
I will second that motion.
Okay, Fortune,
Aye.
Oleg,
Aye.
Araujo is also aye, so it's been approved with those two provisos. Good luck. A meeting is now adjourned. We'll see everybody on Tuesday. Have a great warm weekend.
You too, thank you.
Chair.
Okay, bye.